Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Nitro Racing League here on the Xbox One on NASCAR Heat 4. This is going to be a bit of a weird video. I lost some footage, so I actually had to borrow my friend and teammate's Matt's footage from his Twitch stream, so the audio is going to be turned way down for the first part of this video due to there being a live party chat, so I didn't want you guys to hear that and get in the way of my commentary here on the video. But this is an elimination race. There will be just 6 drivers left in the playoffs after this race here in Talladega. And I cut stage 1 and 2 pretty short based off of just kind of my whole footage loss, as well as stage 1 and 2 were very, very boring. Like I said, the audio is going to be really quiet here because I had to use Karma's footage here for the first part. And like I said, there was live commentary in that you guys don't really need to even hear. But basically, I qualified pretty bad. Didn't have a good qualifying effort at all. There was 15 of us, which is like the second biggest turnout we've had this year, as the limit is currently 16. But there was problems on the start there. You can see from Karma's POV there in the 20. But basically, the situation is Jay and RJ, the 95 and the 19, are going to have to win to get into the next round. If none of them drivers win, then the top 6 you saw coming into this video at the start are all going to make it on points. So basically, if Jay or RJ doesn't win, the top 6 will stay the same, as Karma came through turns 3 getting past MJ. I was behind Karma at this point, or Matt I should say, out of turns 4 on this first and opening lap. But I should mention stage 1 was only 20 laps, so the checkered would be stage 1 checkered would be when we hit lap 21. Stage 2 checkered would be when we hit lap 41, and the race would end when we hit lap 76. So you see here a little bit later, Karma making some moves here on the outside lane. Things not quite going his way as he came through turns 3 and turns 4 as he made some contact there with the 2 and actually got up in the wall and would fall out of the draft, unfortunately, as you could see me go by on that bottom lane. And as you can imagine, the race got pretty single file here in the first couple stages because, I mean, there was really nothing really on the line for anybody, but there was still a lot of single file action. Unfortunately, here was just all hung out by himself. He was not able to do anything. He lost the draft, like I said. So like I said, he was all by himself here, and this was actually right at the end of stage 1 already. So none of the drivers that were trying to get themselves in from 7th or 8th, Jay or RJ, were able to get stage points. So that made it into a position where everyone in the top 6 was in a great position on points. So we will get right back in to the start of the second stage here now, as I'm having a lot of frame drops on my end while doing this recording. I'm not sure if it's going to look like that in the video. I hope not. But Karma started towards the back, and I don't even remember if I got stage points. No, I did not get stage points. I remember we were out behind, as well as I had a few issues here now as we came through turns 1 and turns 2. We do get my footage back in the final stage, so we only got a couple more minutes of seeing the 20 cars footage here. But once again, here in the second stage, Karma running that bottom lane just behind Andrew in the 9, who Andrew really right now I think is our biggest competitor going into this next round of the playoffs, because we are locked in right now, obviously, with the win to start this round of the playoffs. I think, I don't even remember what track it was, but there was some trouble there going down the front straightaway. Jay would get taken out. Keep in mind, Jay has to win this race if he wants to make it into the next round of the playoffs. He's never won a race in the Nitro Racing League, so he's looking to change that here today in Talladega. And the game plan was for me and just the rest of the JGR team to actually help Jay get into the next round of the playoffs with said victory. There was more trouble here a little bit later on with the 47 car, and I was actually right behind Matt at this point in the 20. He would try to avoid the 47 who came down right in front of him, and that would hurt all of our momentum to the point where once again we all lost the draft from the lead group, and we all just had to kind of ride together for the rest of the second stage here. Unfortunately, in Talladega, we come through a little bit later where we're just in this little pack together, and we all actually had to come in to make a pit stop, and nothing was going our way for the JGR squad, so it was looking like the chances of getting Jay into the next round of the playoffs was pretty much hopeless, or helpless now, as we came through already at this point to the final lap of the second stage, where we were just right in front of Matt here, as you see through the trial. So we're coming to the line here to get P7 in stage 2, and this is where everything would change. After stage 2, Bryce, our teammate in the 18, decided to tell everyone to take 2 tires on the pit stop when we knew everybody else was likely going to take 4 tires. The goal was to get all of JGR and Jay, the affiliate, out front. So we would come in to the pit lane right here, see myself 7th, Matt 8th. We know we're way down the order, but we all decided we're going to take right side tires here on the pit stop. The rest of the field was going to do 4 tires. So a big strategy call that we would hope would put all 5 cars that we want up front into position to control this race. So you see here now, Matt comes in, puts his 2 tires on, and everything, to our surprise, goes exactly how we wanted it to. Here comes Matt out of the pit lane. There you see I go through to pass him. We're going to be P1 out of the pit lane. RJ comes out as well. Bryce and Jay, all 5 of us would be leading the field. So I would actually have to start the 3rd and final stage in control on the outside lane. I would choose the outside here for the restart, and we would get back going for now the 3rd and final stage here in Talladega, where you will get to see my footage very shortly once again now when I regained it all. But thankfully, we had everybody up here that we needed. We did have the 88 of combat, but thankfully, we were able to all drop down to this bottom lane, perfectly executed to get Bryce down there as well as Jay was down in P5. That's the one that we wanted out front now, as Karma and RJ got into it a little bit there on the restart as we came through turns 1 and out of turns 2. But we would just ride this bottom lane right away. That was really the only goal, was to just stay on the bottom and hopefully maintain control for really the rest of this race. We come through now to this point where we're actually going to get my footage back on your screen right here now as we come through turns 3. Come into the pit lane right here actually though, as I was out front though, like I said, leading as we came out of turns 4, coming down towards the pit stop here, just trying to make sure we get onto the pit lane without any issues. Sure enough, we get into the pit lane, no problems at all. So keep in mind, the race ends when we hit lap 76. We would have to come in for 4 tires, so we would put 4 tires on, and actually Jay would get inside me. Tina Bryce gets out in front of us, and myself and Jay would be inside each other as we come through on the exit. I wanted to let him go, also didn't want to lose too much, so I was being pretty aggressive here, but I would pull to the right. I knew that would allow Jay to get clear of me here as we went down towards turns 1, as he would rejoin right in front of us. So right now we were just hoping that we would all kind of just cycle out here in front, and sure enough, on lap 57, the other drivers coming out of the pit lane now, the 9, the 24, we would all cycle out right in front of them. So now on lap 57, we were back in control. Bryce out front at this point, but he would actually pull out from the lead intentionally, I should mention here, as we came on lap 59. So he was actually trying to play the team role just like we were here. We were right in the position we wanted. We wanted JP1 and we wanted Matt just behind me. That would make sure that Jay gets his first ever Nitro Series win, as well as it gets into the next round of the playoffs, and then Matt would also get into the next round of the playoffs. So everything was going according to plan at this point now, as we came through with just 10 laps to go here in Talladega now that we're on the horizon. So we knew this was going to be the last pit stop of the race coming at us right here, and we knew obviously that means it's going to be the most important pit stop of the race to make sure we can stay out in front. Now as we came through turns 3 and out of turns 4, you see the fuel icon was on. We were going to come in to take 2 right side tires and then just enough fuel in the car to make it to the end. Now as we're going to be side by side with Jay, Bryce gets a great entrance there and actually gets in front of me, but we would put the tires on and the fuel in the car, 9.3 seconds, and we come out right behind Jay, but to our surprise, the 9 car of Andrew is going to spice things up and come out in front of all of us. So all of a sudden, the plan of having Jay in P1 puts him down in P3 instead, as we're all of a sudden in quite a bit of trouble here, because we know we have to get Jay in P1 out in front of that 9 car as quickly as possible before the next pack of cars gets to us. Otherwise, our chances of making this whole plan work is going to fail. So we were aggressively trying to get ourselves ahead of the 9 of Andrew. Bryce pulls to the right, knowing that we need Jay in front. We were hoping to make a move right here. Unfortunately, it did not work out, so we had to wait another lap or so now as we go down this back stretch on lap 68. Bryce would fall in just behind us. We knew that pack was going to be closing in very quickly on us. Sure enough, on lap 69, nice. At this point, that pack had closed in. The 24, the 20, they were here, so we knew this was our last chance to get Jay out front. Sure enough, on the exit of turns 2, we make the move. We have the run. It was aggressive to do this because we knew how risky it was going to be, but we make it work. We push Jay out in front, and I pull down in front of the 9. Bryce said just go for it, get down, and make sure we protect Jay at this point. Now, as you're going to see Karma's POV with the voice chat here of how kind of desperate we kind of sounded trying to make this move.
Good job.
Oh, this is not good.
Go if you can, man.
No, like, you My car just didn't. That's my little. 4 wide.
Got a car low now.
Go low. It's all good. It's all good. It's all
So
good.
you heard Bryce there saying it's all good. We didn't want to leave him like that, but we kind of had to, and thankfully it worked out. We put Jay out in front in P1, and the 9 was trying to back up really hard to be able to build up a run like he should be doing, but thankfully we were able to fend it off quite well, but we came through on lap 72, and we kind of messed it up here. The 9 gets to our outside, but thankfully the 2 of Smoke would actually stay in behind me, so that would keep us safe as we go down into turn 3. There was a lot of pressure on myself at this point, knowing that if I mess up here, then Jay's going to be in trouble as well if someone else gets past me. So I was doing everything I could to make sure we just kept right behind Jay and kept him safe. We come through now, approaching just 2 laps to go here in Talladega, just doing everything I can to make sure no one is able to get an opportunity to pass Jay. Right now, Matt was the last driver in on points because on the white flag now as we start, Jay leads down into turns 1. I'm just playing the team player role at this point, trying to make sure Jay goes to victory lane for the first time in his Nitro career and gets into the next round of the playoffs. The tire icon was on, but that was not a big deal, as that's not going to be a problem anymore as we go down this back straightaway, knowing what's at stake here for the 95 of Jay, looking for his first win in the series. I had no intentions of passing him at this point as we go down into turns 3. Smoke just behind myself, and we had Christian up there right behind Smoke, knowing that if Jay wins, he's done as we come through out of turns 4. We're about to completely shake up the playoff picture by getting Jay a win here, as Christian, who was going to be the last one in on points, is going to have some trouble behind us. There's the 2 and him come together. Christian goes crashing behind Jay, gets his first win in the Nitro Racing League, and completely changes up the playoff grid now, as he will be in the next round of the playoffs. Christian is now out, and Matt would be the last driver in on points. What a way for Jay to get his first win. Is also a big chance for him to now have a chance of getting into the Final Four here after today, as this was the eliminator race of this second or third round or whatever it is of the playoffs. But now you see the updated playoff grid. We go into the penultimate round right now, 30 points above the cut line to make the Final Four. So we're in a good position, and Jay is 13 out, Matt is 7 out, Bryce is 7 to the good, and Combat is 7 to the good. So that would do it, though, for this episode. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch it. I know there was some issues in this video. I apologize for those issues. Hopefully we don't have those again. Andrew as well, 23 to the good. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and